Have you ever wondered why Black grandmas love them some buttered pecan ice cream? Well, I'll tell you. In the Jim Crow South, by custom rather than law, Black folks were best off if they were not caught trying to purchase or especially eat vanilla ice cream in public. Violating that unspoken rule would almost certainly get you unalived. Vanilla ice cream was a symbol of the American dream, and how dare the descendants of the enslaved think they were good enough to run something so purely delicious and white past those black lips.
Oh.
Let's dive into the untold history of how racism shaped Black America's relationship with ice cream. During the Jim Crow era, racial segregation was deeply embedded in American society. The southern states of the Confederacy were especially resentful that the Blacks had the audacity to see themselves as human. So if they could no longer keep us enslaved, they created petty customs to keep Black folk in bondage. I'm gonna get to the ice cream part, I promise. But did you know that the modern US prison system, particularly in the South, was heavily shaped by efforts to control newly freed Black people after the Civil War? After slavery was deemed illegal, many southern states implemented Black codes, which were laws created to criminalize everyday activities for Black folk, like vagrancy, meaning not having a job. Ironically, many Black people could not get jobs because white people would not hire them. These laws allowed law enforcement to arrest large numbers of Black men and force them into convict leasing, a system that was essentially slavery by another name. Under convict leasing, prisoners were rented out to private companies, plantations, and state projects to do hard labor under brutal conditions. The system disproportionately targeted Black folks and was a major factor in the rise of mass incarceration. Even after convict leasing ended, racist policing and sentencing laws continued, and still do, to disproportionately criminalize Black communities. Okay, I know y'all want to talk about ice cream, so back to the desserts. Vanilla ice cream in particular was often marketed as a symbol of purity and whiteness, and Black people were frequently barred from purchasing or even enjoying it. And this exclusion was not just about ice cream. It was about reinforcing racial hierarchies and denying Black people access to even the simplest pleasures. But per usual, refusing to be denied, Black folk took matters into our own hands. We began creating our own versions of ice cream at home. By combining toasted pecans with butter and cream, butter pecan ice cream was born. And it was more than just a dessert. It was a testament to the ingenuity of Black people who, per usual, turned exclusion into opportunity. So that's why Grandma loved her some butter pecan ice cream. But the story of butter pecan is just one example of how Black disenfranchisement has shaped modern innovations and systems that we still use to this very day. Throughout history, Black people have been forced to adapt, create, and survive in the face of systemic oppression. Take the treadmill, for example, something I should be using every day. Today, it's a popular exercise machine found in gyms all over the world. But during the era of slavery, a similar device was used as a tool of punishment. Enslaved Africans were forced to walk and run on treadmills for hours as a form of brutal discipline. The modern treadmill, while a symbol of health and fitness, has a dark history rooted in the exploitation of Black bodies. Another example, after the Civil War, historically Black colleges and universities, or HBCUs, were established to provide education to Black Americans who were usually excluded from predominantly white institutions. Credit scores have roots in systemic discrimination, and they didn't become a standard part of lending until the 1980s. Before that, credit worthiness was often determined informally by local banks and loan officers based on reputation, personal relationships, and obviously because of discrimination, Black Americans were often denied access to loans and mortgages. But in 1974, the Equal Credit Opportunity Act was passed and it automated the credit worthiness system. Whew, child. As we acknowledge the uncomfortable truths behind many of the systems and innovations we enjoy today, let's also celebrate the culture, resilience, and creativity of Black people. We are truly magical beings. So next time you enjoy that delicious bowl of butter pecan ice cream, let it be even sweeter. A reminder that even in the face of adversity, we've always found ways to innovate and thrive. I'm Naja Hall, creator of this series, and I'd love for you to like, share, and subscribe. Every single day during Black History Month, I'll be sharing a new video on a little known Black history fact, one that you just might not have heard before. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.